Hey, what's up, guys? Just gonna take a walk here. Out to work, just testing this camera out because it's snowing outside. We're gonna see how she does. Let's see how it does with me running. This camera's just borderline too heavy. Hey guys, what's going on? Tonight Kevin is coming to my office to do the podcast. It's about like 5 minutes from where his office is at. But I'm just waiting for him, hanging out. Got a new gimbal, which is kind of cool. So that first shot, or that first segment is using it. It's basically a stabilizer that's electronic. It's single handheld, so really think that's going to help enhance our blogs. It is an Evo Rage 2. So far pretty impressed. I haven't really got a chance to mess with it. My camera and mic setup is like right on the edge as far as weight limitations for it, so I don't think I'll be able to do anything really crazy with it. But it's going to be fun messing around with. So today on the vlog we're going to get to questions and answers. Past couple weeks we've been throwing every once in a while in our Insta story for people to DM us their questions. We got a pile of them we're going to get through, and we're going to podcast. So it's going to be fun. Just waiting on Kevin now. Well, Kevin made it.
I made it.
And we're going to do the question and answer segment. So these questions were all submitted through Instagram, and we're going to start off with, I'd be interested in hearing what your setups are going to be this year and what we have planned for hunts. Go ahead, Kevin.
All right. Well, bow setups, I'm not quite sure. Either that new RER Vortex 2 with the Buckeye, which is a beautiful bow. I'm shooting it really, really well this year. That or the Bushman Spartan. I'll probably juggle between those two bows as of right now. They're pretty similar, so I'm excited for that. Arrow setup, I'm going to be changing that up this year. I'm running the VAPs. I believe they're 166, 450 spine. And then the Valkyrie system up front. So bow weights are 50 pounds roughly, 49, 50 pounds. And arrow weights probably going to just be over 500 grains. So 300 grain heads. Last year I ran the Grizzlies on the Valkyrie system, but this year I might try the Jaggers. So.
Sweet. No, those are the broadheads I'll be hunting with. I really liked using them last year. As far as bows, same bows as last year for the most part, except for the RER that we gave away. Mm-hmm. The new RER is real similar to that, so arrow setup will probably be the exact same. And then I just traded Mike my RK1 limbs. I had 45-pound longbow limbs. He had 40-pound recurve limbs. So I'm going to throw the 40-pound recurve limbs on the RER and use that as kind of my shoot everyday bow as much as possible. And I might actually turkey hunt a little bit with it. Yeah. We'll just see.
And as you guys know, I hunted with it all last year, so I'm just trying to get away from the metal riser this year and go back to more of a custom bow. So great bow. But
cool. Next up, I live in a town with a strict projectile restriction. What are some ways I can work on my traditional release form without actually taking shots? Thanks, Ryan.
You can shoot anywhere. My buddy Aaron, back in college, used to shoot in his dorm room or in an apartment, and he says that was one of his best years of shooting because he was limited to like 5 yards, and he just focused on form all winter long. And I do that quite a bit at my house, and I know Mark does as well. So you don't need a lot of distance to work on that. Just make sure you have a big enough target. You don't put a hole in your freezer.
Kevin put a hole in his freezer.
We did miss on the last question what we're going to be doing for hunts.
Oh, yeah. Yep,
PA primarily for turkey and whitetail. And then Mark and I will be going to Ohio, or another state for whitetail. We're not quite sure yet.
We're going to be doing an interesting little project with that, so stay tuned. It's going to be fun. We'll be talking about that kind of all summer long, what our plans are there. I was originally planning on doing a mule deer or elk hunt in Colorado, but with my wife being in school, just wasn't in the cards this year, so always looking forward to next year. And
I might get drawn for Utah if I'm lucky. So potentially Utah, and I might be going on a hog hunt. I definitely will be going on a hog hunt in February of 2019, I guess. So that's not this year, but and then maybe this summer on a hog hunt. So we shall see.
Cool. How are you guys keeping your trad bows in a stand? Bow hanger just like a compound, or will that damage it? I'm using the exact same hooks as the compound, so screws in the tree, and I just hang it by the tree, or like a quiver attachment that just slides right in the hook. That's about it.
I'm horrible with bow hangers. I always forget them, or I just don't want to lug them in, so I hang it on whatever I can hang it on usually.
And this is probably the most received questions that we've had on the tab is, do y'all have the plans to make a split finger tab? You can address that, Kevin.
Yeah, we're getting bombarded with that question, and we don't have any intentions of making a split finger tab as of right now. We may in the future, but right now we aren't. You can easily modify it by just taking about a 1/4 of an inch out of the tab, so you cut the leather back to here. I understand that you don't want to buy a $40 tab and cut it up right away, but it should be fine. You just CVA that together there. You shouldn't have any splitting going beyond the carbon fiber, and I know it's definitely wide enough to do that. So I've seen other 3-finger tabs modified like that, and I don't see why anyone can't do that. Mark and I will be doing a how-to video on that and how to trim your tab, or how we trim it. It's not necessarily the right way, but that's how we do it. So.
Yep, and it's nice being able to get a custom fit like that. So, for a beginning archer, 3 under or split finger?
Personal preference primarily.
Whatever feels the best to you. What's your recommendation for cresting? I don't do cresting.
Yeah, I don't shoot wooden arrows, and I don't crest my carbon arrows, so no, I've never messed with it. It's pretty cool. It's an art form for sure, but
yeah, just something I've never gotten into. We've never gotten into, so I just glue my feathers to the shaft. I listened to the Back Tension podcast. How do you know when you get it right? Also, I didn't understand the things to be mindful of each shot. Back tension.
That's tricky, and the things that you didn't understand to be mindful of each shot are terms you got to be familiar with or learn. Kiskik Lee has a really good site for that. You can just go there. It's free, I believe. You can get on there and kind of read about it some, so that might help you. Kiskiklee.com, I believe it is, and all the info is free. You just have to sign up. To understand if you have correct back tension, you'll feel it. I mean, you really feel it if you're using it correctly. I still struggle with it, so it's not something that comes easily. I think having a coach like Tom Klum would probably be your best bet.
Yeah, definitely. That I'd say having someone that can look over your shoulder, who knows what to look for, and be able to guide you that way.
And with that said, I truly believe 90% of the archers out there aren't using correct back tension. Do you need to? Yeah, it's going to help you prevent injury in the future, and if you want to do it the quote-unquote correct way. But lots of guys out there killing all the critters they need without it. So,
are we doing any western hunts? We kind of covered that. Finger pressure. Do you pull primarily with the middle finger? No clue. I just like grab the string and let go. I don't know what percentages, but I just don't know that information.
Yeah, I believe I don't know them for sure, but I believe the ring finger should only have roughly 20 or 30%, and the rest should, the majority of it is the middle finger, but I don't shoot with 3 fingers, so.
My middle finger is strong. I use it often. What kind of sticks are those? That was the question in the one picture, the climbing sticks. Do you remember what those are?
Was that at my place?
Yeah, the stand that you had looking over your food block.
I believe they're just the cheap Amber Step, I think is what they were. It's an Amber Step stand, and Amber Step, that's right. And sticks, I probably got them at
Dunham's. We have at Dunham's, and like
like
after hunting season, we just go and buy all the cheap stuff so that we have multiple stand spots, multiple sticks.
Yeah,
So
if you
load 'em
have
up.
property, you know, that's the way to go, because then you don't have to mess with the stuff. But Amber Step.
This will be the last question, and thanks again for submitting all the questions through Instagram. It was awesome. Had a few more than this, but these were the ones that we felt like we had the time to cover before our podcast tonight. So, have you guys ever thought about going instinctive?
I believe we, to some degree, we shoot instinctive out to a certain range, and then after that, we definitely gap shoot. But even then, I don't know specifically how high or how low to hold. It's just kind of ingrained in me. So I kind of feel like we do, but that's like opening a can of worms. Everybody looks at instinctive as a different, it's on how you perceive it, I guess.
Yep. So, cool. And that's about it for me too. Like I 15 yards, 20 yards, because my point is so below the target, I really don't have a clue where it's at. You just kind of pull through your shot, and hopefully that arrow goes where you want it to go. And that close, it is what it is.
Yeah, you just get used to gauging it, like, 3D indoor. My good friend Aaron, he has a high anchor and really long draw, so his gaps are like super short. So like, if the target's 15 yards, he's only a couple inches low, and he's drilling that 10 at like 15 yards, where I'm holding like 3 feet low. And it's amazing that I can still hit like a 12 ring at 15 yards holding that low, but your mind just takes over. So through repetition, and the more you shoot, I believe you can become, quote unquote, a more instinctive archer. But
cool. Well, if you guys enjoyed the question and answer stuff, let us know, and hit us with any other questions. We're going to try and do this more often as questions come through, because frankly, it's fun.
yeah,
It's different, something new that we haven't done
it's
before.
not us just holding the camera and walking through the woods. So.
So, we'll see you guys next time.
Stay safe.
Shoot straight.